Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Jonathan Gannon has expectations for his debut at State Farm Stadium. He wants the fans to be loud when the Cardinals are on defense and church-like quiet when the team is on offense. Unfortunately, Gannon's debut is likely going to be something of a rude awakening. Now, I'm not talking about the scoreboard because I think the Cardinals have a good shot of winning this game. I'm talking about the vibe in the arena. I'm talking about the optics, the amount of big blue offsetting the Cardinal red, and I am talking about the nauseating soundtrack of a split allegiant crowd cheering when the enemy gets a first down. Or, in a worst-case scenario, the Cardinals offense has to revert to a silent count because they can't hear their quarterback at the line of scrimmage. Yes, that has happened before. It all has become a maddening, demoralizing trend at Cardinals games where season ticket holders are capitalizing on the robust secondary market in the Valley, a transient sports town full of infidels and people from somewhere else. And that raises a very interesting question entering Sunday's game. After all, you probably enjoyed the first impression of your new head coach. So, what is he going to think of us come Monday morning? All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait. I want it to be loud when we're on defense and quiet when we're on offense. So pass the word along.
There you go. It's been passed along, Coach.
Pass it on.
Uh-huh.
It has been passed along. You get passed along in the Bickley Blast. That's passing it along.
Yeah, that is passing it along. Now, we have seen that it's really, truly the ultimate indignity for a football team to have to go to a silent count in their own building. And it has happened in Arizona more than a few times in recent vintage. And we don't have to sit here and get on soapboxes and tell people and excoriate fans for selling their tickets. But I will say this. I think that Jonathan Gannon does have expectations because I think in the NFL, your first home game as a new regime, you automatically think it's going to be a big deal to people. Mm-hmm. Because your debute's a big deal.
Yes.
Why wouldn't your home debut not be a big deal?
But the people you're trying to impress that upon, your fan base, it's not that big a deal to them because they've been going to these games for years.
For years.
And it's all about a word that I keep coming back to, for the fans to be invested fully. Now, there is a crew of hardcore ride-or-die Arizona Cardinals fans. Is it as big as other fan bases? Probably not. But the word I'm going back to is belief. We talked about it with the Diamonds. We just talked about it with the D-backs president, Derek Hall. They had three enormous games against the Rockies. Enormous games. Mm-hmm. One of them on a holiday during the day. People did not show up because of what we described as this fan base does not have the belief that this is real just yet.
Yeah.
For the Cardinal fans, it's the same. And when you get your teeth kicked in at home every week, your belief tends to dwindle a bit.
And then the whole thing just kind of snowballs. And then it provides more incentive to unload your tickets. And then it creates an even worse kind of vibe the next game. And then it just kind of like keeps devolving. And unfortunately, that is what has happened in recent years with the Cardinals and their home field advantage. You can look it up. The numbers are bad. I would hope that there's for the Cardinal fans who do show up, and I do agree with you, the ride or die crew that go to Cardinal games, they always get mad at me whenever I bring up this topic. They should realize you are the people I am not talking about.
Yeah.
You are the people who should be applauded because that's what you're doing. You're supporting your team through thick and thin. But I also understand that this is a fact of life now. It's people look at sports and people look at entertainment as what can I get out of this? And if I am not going to be entertained to a level that I find worth my money, then I am going to use these tickets to make money. Yeah. And this is a market that's there's no shortage of people who want to buy your tickets if the right team is coming to town.
Yeah, the days of eating tickets are over.
Oh, yeah.
When the Cardinals moved to town in the late 80s, and I know this is a fact because, me and my dad bought season tickets for like the first 5 or 6 years, and there were times where like, man, we don't feel like going today. But guess what? Nobody else feels like going either. And you weren't losing that much money. Now it's an investment, and you're going to try to recoup that. You're not going to eat those tickets at $250 a piece.
It's so crazy because where I came from, where you came from, it really honestly feels like a civic duty. There's no, you don't play those mental gymnastics. You do not go through your head, okay, miles, cost per gallon, how much gas am I going to spend? What time am I getting? You don't even begin. You just wake up and you go, we have to go.
Yes, and again, to make this clear, I'm not blaming the fans for this.
No, you don't have to make it clear.
The fan base franchise relationship is a partnership, but it is almost fully incumbent on the franchise to engender the belief that the fan base needs.
Yeah.
It doesn't work the other way around.
Right.
Teams don't win games because of the fans.
Yeah.
Now, they can make it a lot more difficult, but they're not winning games.
So my hope is this Cardinals defense takes the field on Sunday and regardless of what it sounds like, just causes all sorts of mayhem and chaos in a good way. Violence, right? And that feeds the crowd. And then that creates a vibe. And now people want to go because it's something. It's something cool. And that's also, I think, part of the issue here. We've had too many soft football teams in recent past getting rolled in their own building. Mm-hmm. And who wants to get behind that?
It's hard. Jonathan Gannon also spoke yesterday. Not only one home game to start, but back-to-back home games against NFC East opponents and the Giants and then the Cowboys coming in week 3. How that could potentially help with things.
Yeah, it does. That's a good question, Bo. That's what it was nice, going through a normal, we're the start of the week here, or kind of middle of the week, but I think that we tweaked a couple things going into this week. I think it'll help our players. That's up to me to make sure that we're getting our guys ready to go mentally, physically, emotionally, like how you set up the day, all those things, and making sure that every minute that we're in the building, we're getting out of it what we need to get out of it. So I feel really good about this week.
Yeah, and then move on to Dallas next week, which could be, it's a whole different animal.
Listen, this is the to me, this is the last great chance to win a game before things get real kind of rough and turbulent. You don't want to be winless going into November, and if you don't win tomorrow, there's a good chance of it.
All the talk of tanking.
November is 2 months away.
I know.
No.
Well, again, you're taking a look at, in succession, the Cowboys defense, the 49ers defense.
Yeah, as we pointed out, 0-2 is something, but then when that's followed up by 2 blowout losses, the 0-4 feels a lot heavier.
That's true. Mm-hmm. But looking around the league, and we'll get more into the week 2 schedule tomorrow on the show, there's some other teams, though, that have got to be gripping a little bit. You know those stats that come out at the beginning of every year? You start 0-2. The defending Super Bowl champions could be in danger of being 0-2. The Buffalo Bills could be in danger of being 0-2.
The Cincinnati Bengals could be in danger of going 0-2.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the fascinating thing. If you lose your first game and you're a team with expectations, week 2 is a minefield.
Chargers are in that category too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's a lot of interesting games on the schedule this week.